The Los Angeles Lakers entered the 2024-25 postseason with sky-high expectations, especially after the blockbuster acquisition of Luka Doncic, who formed a formidable superstar duo with LeBron James. However, the reality was a harsh one. The Lakers failed to build on their regular season win total and were unceremoniously bounced from the first round of the playoffs by the Minnesota Timberwolves. That early exit has brought the urgent need to retool the roster for next season into sharp focus. A high-powered offense clearly wasn't enough for postseason success, and the calls are growing louder for the team to acquire players who can elevate their performance when it matters most, in the playoffs. Recently, ESPN's Bobby Marks highlighted Rui Hachimura's expiring $18.3 million contract as a key asset LA needs to leverage when looking for roster upgrades. This makes Hachimura a prime candidate to be included in potential trade discussions. Now, just over a week after Mark's report on Hachimura's uncertain future with the Lakers, Jovan Buah, the Athletic, has thrown another intriguing name into the mix: Miami Heat forward Andrew Wiggins as a realistic option for Los Angeles. Buah specifically discussed a scenario that would involve sending Hachimura to Miami in return. "I like that trade," Buah said regarding a hypothetical deal sending Lakers forward Rui Hachimura to the Heat for Wiggins. "I know Wiggins has been a popular guy on Lakers Twitter. He's somebody that, I think among the realistic options, would check a lot of boxes for the Lakers. Wiggins certainly brings a compelling pedigree. He's an NBA champion with the Golden State Warriors and was an All-Star in 2022. The former #1 overall pick, who was traded to the Heat from Golden State back in February, averaged 18.0 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.6 assists per game during the 2024-25 season, shooting 44.8% from the field and a respectable 37.4% from three-point range. However, trading for Wiggins isn't without its complexities, starting with the financial implications. He's set to have a $28.2 million cap hit next season, with a player option for 2026-27, which means he could potentially become a free agent in 2 years. This is a significant financial commitment. If such a trade were to materialize, it would give LA a wing player who offers solid perimeter defense, athletic scoring, and valuable postseason experience. All traits that align perfectly with the team's priority of building a more balanced, playoff-ready roster heading into the 2025-26 season. So, Lakers fans, what are your thoughts on this? Would Andrew Wiggins be a good fit alongside LeBron and Luka? Is a package centered around Rui Hachimura enough to get a deal done with Miami? Let us know your opinions in the comments below. All right, Lakers Nation, let's talk about the 2025 offseason. If there's one thing you can absolutely bank on, it's that the Los Angeles Lakers will be adding a big man. You can write that down in Sharpie, underline it, highlight it. It's happening. This has become a non-negotiable task ever since the Lakers made the monumental move to acquire Luka Doncic, a trade they'd likely make 12 times out of 10, even if it meant sacrificing Anthony Davis's interior presence, and then subsequently backed out of the trade for Charlotte Hornets center Mark Williams. Team President Rob Pelinka has even acknowledged this pressing need. So, how do the Lakers fill this vacancy? They have a few different avenues, but some are definitely more preferable than others. One straightforward solution could involve luring a familiar face, Brook Lopez, back to Hollywood in free agency. And this might actually be doable. Matt Moore of Hardwood Paroxysm recently noted that most everyone I've spoken to assume Brook Lopez is gone from the Milwaukee Bucks, who, let's be honest, have some bigger fish to fry right now. On the flip side, a much trickier path could see the Lakers reigniting their interest in young Utah Jazz center Walker Kessler. Getting him would require a trade, and as we know, trading with the Utah Jazz is rarely, if ever, a budget-friendly operation. To put it bluntly, if the Lakers could have afforded Kessler, or truly wanted to meet Utah's price, he might already be wearing purple and gold. The problem, as the Athletic's Jovan Buah has pointed out, is that Utah's asking prices tend to be higher. Buah elaborated, "Going back to last season, they had inquired about him to the Jazz, and the feedback they got was a starting price, not the final price. The starting price was the equivalent of 2+ first-round picks. Meeting, or even just approaching, that kind of price would essentially drain the Lakers of all their non-Austin Reeves trade assets." They have a 2031 first round to play with, but beyond that, it's future pick swaps, a single second rounder, their 2024 first round pick Dalton Connect, an expiring contract like those of Hachimura, Gabe Vincent, and Maxi Kleber. So, if the Lakers could even land Kessler, that would likely be their only significant move on the trade market. And as much as his elite rim protection and interior finishing would help, this Lakers team is more than just one starting caliber center away from truly contending for a championship next season. They'd still have defensive holes on the perimeter and general concerns about their overall depth. They'd still be an imperfect team. Adding Brook Lopez, however, presents a different scenario. It would allow LA to address the center issue without completely emptying the asset cupboard and denying themselves the opportunity to make other crucial upgrades. Lopez, at 37, should generate decent interest among win-now teams with center needs, but it's unlikely to be an all-out bidding war. He was never the quickest player, and he's primarily a complementary contributor as a scorer and rebounder at this stage of his career. Now, it's true, Lopez isn't the kind of high-flying, anti-gravity lob threat that Luka Doncic might ideally prefer. However, Lopez's ability to stretch the floor would make Doncic's life easier in a different, but still valuable, way. Brook had been on a 9-year streak of averaging at least 1.4 three-pointers per game, and he's hit a healthy 35.4% of his long-range attempts during that stretch. Defensively, he remains a stingy paint protector. This past season, opponents shot 5.4 percentage points worse against him than their average on shots within 6 feet of the basket, according to NBA.com. He's not an all-purpose defensive stopper who will extinguish fires all over the court, but he can certainly clean up a lot of mistakes along the back line. But let's be clear, this isn't simply an argument of Brook Lopez is better than Walker Kessler. In a vacuum, just comparing the two players, Kessler, with his youth and offensive upside, would likely be preferred pick for many. The real argument here is about optionality and smart team building. Pursuing Lopez gives the Lakers flexibility. If they can sign Lopez, then also find another athletic wing defender or two, and boost their bench depth, that would arguably be a far more productive and impactful offseason than simply swinging a costly, all-in trade for Walker Kessler. What do you think, Lakers fans? Should the team go all in for Kessler, or is the more prudent, multifaceted approach involving Brook Lopez the smarter play? Let us know your strategy in the comments below.